Rap Monster redirects here. Not to be confused with Monster Rap. In this Korean name, the family name is Kim. RMRM at the Fact Music Awards in October 2022. Born Kim Namjoon, September 12, 1994, age 29, Dongjak District, Seoul, South Korea. Education, Apgujeong High School Global Cyber University. Occupations, rapper-songwriter record producer, years, active 2010. Present honors, Hwagwon Order of Cultural Merit, 2018. Musical career genres, K-pop, hip, hopper and B instruments, vocals, labels Big Hit. Member of BTS Korean name Hangul Gim Namjoon Hanja Jin. Namjoon revised romanization. Jim Nam, Junmakun Raishawa, Kim Namjoon signature Kim Namjoon, Korean Gim Namjoon, born September 12, 1994, known professionally as RM, formerly Rap Monster, is a South Korean rapper, songwriter and record producer. He is the leader of South Korean boy band BTS. RM released his first solo mixtape, RM, in 2015, followed by his second mixtape, Mono, in 2018. The latter became the highest charting album by a Korean soloist in the United States in history, when it peaked at number 26 on the Billboard 200. RM made his official solo debut in 2022 with the release of his studio album Indigo, which featured contributions from Erykah Badu and Anderson .Paak. The album peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, becoming the highest charting album by a Korean soloist of all time. He has also collaborated with artists such as Weil, Yuna, Warren G, Geico, Kriz Kaliko, MFBTI, Fall Out Boy, Primary, and Lil Nas X. Early life and education. Kim Namjoon was born on September 12, 1994, in Sangdo-dong, 2nd, Dongjak District, Seoul, South Korea, and grew up in Ilsan District, Goyang, where his family moved when he was age 4 or 5. He has a younger sister and is part of the Gangneung Kim clan, Ko. As a child, RM largely learned English by watching the American sitcom Friends with his mother. 8. As a student, he actively wrote poetry and often received awards for his writing. 10th. He posted his work to an online poetry website for roughly 1 year, where he received moderate attention. As a result, RM expressed interest in pursuing a literary career, but later decided against it. 10. When he was 12 years old, he studied in New Zealand for 4 months. 11. At age 11, in 5th grade, RM became interested in hip-hop music after hearing Epic High's Fly. 12. Finding that the song had provided him comfort, he decided to look further into the genre. He was introduced to the music of American rapper Eminem by his school teacher, which first sparked RM's interest in lyricism. He would print out lyrics that he felt were cool and shared them with friends. RM began songwriting at that time, stating that his poetry became lyrics when combined with music. In 2007, as a first-year middle school student, he began rapping in local amateur hip-hop circles, creating his first self-composed recording with the program Adobe Audition, then called Cool Edit, and later participating in his first concert in 2008. 10. RM became more active in the underground Korean hip-hop scene under the moniker Runch Randa, releasing several tracks and collaborations with other underground rappers such as Zico. 13. As a student, RM had an IQ of 148 and scored in the top 1% of the nation in the university entrance examinations for language, math, foreign language and social studies. 14. Because his parents had been strongly opposed to his interest in a musical career due to his academic achievements, RM initially decided to set music aside to focus on his studies. He eventually convinced his mother to allow him to be a rapper, asking her if she wanted to have a son who was a first-place rapper or a 5000 third-place student. 10 Towers. In March 2019, after graduating from Global Cyber University with a degree in Broadcasting and Entertainment, RM enrolled at Hanyang Cyber University's Master of Business Administration program in Advertising and Media. 15. Name RM selected the name Rap Monster during his time as an Idol trainee. The name derives from the lyrics of a song he wrote, inspired by San E's Rap Genius. The lyrics contained a segment where San E declares he should be called a rap monster, as he raps non-stop. 10. He adopted the stage name because he felt it was cool. 16. RM has described himself as having a love-hate relationship with the name, Feeling that it was not selected for being of incredible value to him, tenance, he formally changed his stage name to RM in November 2017, as he determined that Rap Monster was no longer representative of who he was or the music that he creates. 17. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight in 2019, RM stated that the name could symbolize many things and could have more spectrums to it. One meaning that has been suggested is Real Me. 16.
Sergio Oliva was born on July 4, 1941, in Guantanamo, Cuba, Tekken, during the presidency of Fulgencio Batista. As a teenager, after only a year of training, Sergio was able to perform clean and jerks above 400 pounds. These feats caught the attention of the new government after the Cuban Revolution, who selected Sergio to represent Cuba at the upcoming 1962 Central America and Caribbean Games. 4. During his time in Jamaica, representing Cuba at the Games, Oliva sneaked out of his quarters while the guards were distracted. He then ran at top speed until he was safely inside the American consulate. Arriving breathlessly, he demanded and received political asylum. Soon, 65 other Cuban nationals followed him, including Castro's entire weightlifting team and their security guards. Shortly afterward, Oliva was living in Miami, Florida, working as a TV repairman. Viv Oliva then went on to win the Mr. Olympia title 3 years in a row, at 5 feet 10 inches and a contest weight of 245 pounds. Oliva's 1968 Mr. Olympia win was uncontested. In 1969, he won his third consecutive Mr. Olympia by beating a Mr. Europe, a Mr. International, and 4-time Mr. Universe winner Arnold Schwarzenegger. In his 1977 autobiography, Arnold, The Education of a Bodybuilder, Arnold tells of their first encounter. Then for the first time I saw Sergio Oliva in person. I understood why they called him the Myth. It was as jarring as if I'd walked into a wall. He destroyed me. He was so huge, he was so fantastic. There was no way I could even think of beating him. I admitted my defeat and felt some of my pumps go away. I tried. But I'd been so taken back by my first sight of Sergio Oliva that I think I settled for second place before we walked out on the stage. I never liked to admit defeat, but I thought Sergio was better. There were no two ways about it. 6. However, Schwarzenegger won his first Mr. Olympia title by edging the Myth the following year, with a score of 4-3. Oliva was banned from competing in the 1971 IFBB Mr. Olympia because he competed in the 1971 NABA Mr. Universe. This was extremely controversial because Schwarzenegger had competed for this very same contest the year before, and without Sergio to challenge Arnold, some felt that the contest was fixed. Schwarzenegger said, "I'd coasted to my second title as Mr. Olympia in Paris in 1971. The only possible challenger had been Sergio. Nobody else was in my league, and he'd been barred from the contest, along with others, because of a dispute between federations." 7. In 1972, under the high-intensity training HIT system of Arthur Jones, the designer of Nautilus training equipment, Oliva challenged Schwarzenegger for the 1972 Olympia in Essen, West Germany. By all accounts, Sergio was in his all-time greatest shape and completely confident he would regain the Mr. Olympia title. Arnold beat Sergio into second place and was crowned Mr. Olympia yet again. He said, "In Essen, it seemed like all the top bodybuilders turned up at their very best except for me. Sergio was back, even more impressive than I remembered. Compared with all of the other bodybuilders I've ever faced, Sergio really was in a class by himself. I was struck by that again the minute we were on stage. It was so hard to look impressive next to him with those incredible thighs, that impossibly tiny waist, those incredible triceps." Now, in 1985, at the age of 44, Oliva returned for an attempt at the famed Mr. Olympia title one last time. He could manage just an 8th place finish, the same as the year before. Robert Kennedy, the publisher of the magazine Muscle Mag International, wrote, "Anyone who loves the sport of bodybuilding knows the name of Sergio Oliva, known as the Myth. I greatly admired him and consider him to be the all-time world's greatest physique. I saw him in competition many times, including his shows against Arnold. There is no doubt that with his wide shoulders and narrow hip structure, he was superior to any other bodybuilder of his generation. Sergio was not only the most aesthetic bodybuilder on stage, but also the biggest. Sergio Oliva is considered by most to be the world's most genetically gifted bodybuilder. He set a whole new standard for competitive bodybuilding. Loved by millions, revered by many, and feared by some. He was so huge and extremely proportioned that he used to bring chills to his adversaries. This is how he acquired the name of the Myth. Olivia served the city of Chicago as a police officer from 1976 to 2003. 11. In 1986, Sergio survived being shot by his then-wife, Arlene Garrett. He sustained 5 bullet wounds to his abdomen from a .38 special, 12. His son, Sergio Oliva Jr., is an IFBB pro bodybuilder who won the 2015 NPC Nationals bodybuilding competition and has since competed on Mr. Olympia, Arnold Classic, and New York Pro stages. New York
2017-2021, second mixtape Mono, and further collaborations. In March 2017, RM collaborated with American rapper Whale on a special socially charged track called Change, released as a free digital download along with an accompanying music video filmed 2 weeks prior to the track's release. 40. The pair first formed a relationship over Twitter, with Whale reaching out to RM in 2016, having seen RM's cover of his track Illest Bitch. 40 RM decided on the topic of change, saying that though the two rappers were extremely different, their commonality lay in the fact that both America and South Korea had their political and social situations, and that both of them wanted the world to change for the better. 1 month later, RM featured on the track Gaja with Geico of Dynamic Duo for 43. In December, RM collaborated on a remix of Fall Out Boy's song Champion. 4. The track reached number 18 on Billboard's bubbling under Hot 100 singles and helped RM reach number 46 on the Emerging Artist chart for the week of January 8, 2018. 45. On December 27th, RM made history as the first K-pop artist to chart on the Rock Digital Songs chart, placing at number 2. 47. RM released his second mixtape, Mono, which he referred to as a playlist, on October 23, 2018. 48. He became the first Korean artist to rank number 1 on the Emerging Artists chart in the United States with its release. 49. The playlist was well received by critics, who praised RM for laying his deep insecurities bare on songs like Tokyo and Soul. 50. The track Soul was produced by British electropop duo Hon, who first discovered RM after seeing him recommend their music on Twitter and eventually met him in Seoul following one of their concerts. 51. In November, RM also collaborated with Tiger JK on his last and final album under the stage name Drunken Tiger, featuring on the track Timeless. Tiger JK originally expected RM's lyrics to contain self-praise, which was the trend of rap at the time. RM instead wrote lyrics about leaving behind the historical meaning of Drunken Tiger's name. 52. On March 25, 2019, Hone announced that RM would feature on their remake of Crying Over You, alongside singer Becca, which was released on March 27th. 53. Hone originally released Crying Over You with Becca in 2018. The song was originally slated for a January 2019 release, but postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. 54. Chinese singer Bibi Zhou was added to the Chinese release, appearing with RM and replacing Becca. The same day, Big Hit Entertainment released the song Persona as a trailer for BTS EP Map of the Soul Persona. Performed as a solo by RM, 56 Persona debuted at number 17 on Billboard's YouTube song chart. 57. 3 months later, on July 24, 2019, RM featured on the 4th official remix of Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, entitled Soul Town Road, in which he infused his English language verse with a surprisingly good southern twang. 58. On December 29th, it was announced that RM would feature on Yuna's track Winter Flower, released on January 6, 2020. 60. RM also featured on Don't, the lead single of Korean singer Eon's second solo album, released on April 30, 2021. 61. 2022. present, solo debut. During BTS 9th anniversary celebrations in June 2022, RM mentioned needing time to think about his direction as a member of BTS and as an individual. 62. Pursuant to an accompanying announcement that the band would be devoting more attention to individual endeavors going forward. They went on an extended break from most group activities shortly afterwards. He featured on the single Sexy Newcomer by alternative K-pop group Balming Tiger in September 65, and released his debut solo studio album Indigo on December 2nd. 66. Led by the single Wildflower, the album was released commercially and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, making RM the highest charting Korean soloist in chart history at the time. 67. RM traveled to Spain for inspiration for a second solo album in 2023. While there, in an interview with EFE, it was published in March, he reflected on the search for his own identity, after having followed the dictates of K-pop trends for the past 10 years as part of BTS, additionally revealing that he would not be taking on any projects in the near future in light of his approaching mandatory military service. 69. RM appeared as a featured artist on the single Smoke Sprite by So-yoon, lead singer and guitarist of Korean indie rock band SE So Neon, released on March 14th, 70, and was announced as the first celebrity brand ambassador for Bottega Veneta at the end of that month, through an Instagram post by creative director Mathieu Blazy, which showcased RM in the brand's Spring-Summer 2023 campaign. 71. In May, he featured on the single Don't Ever Say Love Me by Colder. 72.